Hello and welcome to Cosmic Yoga. This is your Pluto Retrograde Realignment series, and we have Bane joining me here. So if you're into cat yoga, you can feel free to distract yourself with this guy. So we are going to talk a little bit before we get started about the astrology of the moment, because this is cosmic yoga. So we want to talk about what's going on in the cosmos and then integrate that into the practice and how we can use that realignment with our bodies to also align with the movements of the cosmos, of the planets. So currently, as of today, at the time of filming this on May 2nd, we are moving into a Pluto retrograde. Now, there's a lot going on with Pluto right now because Pluto is sort of known as the generational planet. So if you were to look at where Pluto is in your birth chart, the sign that it rests in is going to correlate with the generation that you're a part of, whether that be a millennial, a Gen Z, a Gen X, boomer, silent generation. And sometimes those years actually align more with the energy of your generation and how you feel like you fit in than the actual listings that you might find if you Google those different generations and what timeline that is. Because, for instance, I was born in what's normally known as the millennial generation, but my astrological zodiac sign is the same as Gen X because the planet went retrograde, like it is right now, back into another sign. So the start of the millennial generation, it went into Scorpio. And then whenever I was born, it had gone into a retrograde prior to that and moved back into Libra, which is the sign that it's in for Gen Xers. So it's kind of a quirky little thing that if you find that you don't resonate with your own generation, you might look at where the planet is, and the planet might have been somewhere different because of the different planets moving. And that, I believe, is part of the explanation as to why I'm so into the 90s. And I felt like I was like a wannabe Gen Xer, even though I'm a millennial. So check out the Total Betty Goddess deck if you feel the same way. And we are going to really be working today on finding some grounding because Pluto is the planet of transformation. So when it goes retrograde, we're basically reevaluating the things and the ideas in our lives in regards to endings and new beginnings and transformation. And that's a really exciting time because it can really give you a boost into this new era of your life, but it also can feel a little ungrounding. So the things that we'll be kind of intentionally adding into the practice today include finding grounding in each of the postures, really intentionally building everything from the ground up. So really, really going back to kind of like yoga 101 basics. So we make sure we're activating the right muscles and really grounding into the postures. And then we're also going to be adding in some twists to wring out the old. So I want you to imagine as we're moving through the twist that you are like an old washcloth that's soaked up all of your life thus far, and you're ready for a fresh start. And so it's like at the end of washing a bunch of dishes or doing whatever you do with washcloths. I personally use a sponge, but whatever it is that you use, you're going to wring all of that old energy out and be able to allow yourself to go into the next chapter feeling less burdened by that dirty water, so to speak. So moving in to our postures as soon as I prevent my cat from chewing my poster. We are going to start with the ultimate grounding posture, which is child's pose. So begin by bringing your big toes to touch, your knees out wide. Give yourself a little bit of space between the legs as much as feels good. And then start to reach forward into your extended child's pose. If you prefer, you can take embryo pose and let the arms rest back behind you. I am going to refrain from moving into the full child's pose because I do have a microphone. I want to be respectful of your ears, but find either child's pose or embryo pose, whichever one of those felt good to you. And then take a few moments to feel the sensations of whatever's touching down to the mat, to the earth. Because we want to be really mindful as the rest of our life becomes a little more an upheaval, that we are still a physical being here on this planet and that we are calling in this new beginning in a grounded, present way. So close your eyes as you're in this posture and feel the sensation of your hands, your legs, the tops of your feet touching down to the earth. and let that grounding sensation bring you into the present moment. And if you feel that your mind is kind of somewhere else, if you're flitting about with your thoughts, I want you to imagine that there's a dome of protective energy coming down around your mat, around your body, and almost cutting the ties to those thoughts that are outside of you. As you find what feels good with that grounding and with that centered focus, allow yourself to come into your breath. Feel yourself expand with your inhale. And breathe out some old energy with your exhale. Deep breath in. Think of maybe something that you want to call in this new chapter. And deep breath out. Let something go from the old. Again, wringing out that sponge or that washcloth. Then gently shift your focus forward towards the front of your mat and shift forward into a tabletop position. In your tabletop, take a couple cat-cows here, but as you take this cat-cow, dropping your belly towards the mat and then rounding through your spine, take a few moments to really feel the connection to the earth. Feel your hands, your knees, the tops of your feet touching down, and let every movement that you take feel like it's coming from that place. So yes, we can just like let the spine come back and forth without any connection to other parts of the body. But instead of just doing that, imagine that you're pressing into your hands and that's letting your heart reach forward as your belly drops down and grows heavy. And then imagine pressing into your hands and knees as you gently round through your spine and let it come from the earth all the way up to that peak at the top of your rounding. And then take those movements and link them to your breath. If you want to add in some circles, the neck of the hips, you're welcome to do that. Just again, be really mindful of your connection here in the present moment on the mat. Take that bubble energy to disconnect from any distracting thoughts. Then gently bring yourself back to your neutral tabletop. And we'll start to move into those twists. So from the neutral tabletop, inhale, reach your right arm high to start. As you reach up, we really want to focus on the twist of the torso. So there's a tendency here to just let everything open up to the side. Try not to do that. So keep your right hip pulled back behind you and keep both hips level to the mat so that your sacrum could almost rest a glass of water on it. And then as you find that reach up to the sky, maybe it's not as far as you think you want to go, but this is how we're going to find the twists. So reach up, draw your shoulders down your back, press into your bottom hand and start to feel your right oblique activate to gently pull your right shoulder back, even just a little bit. Mine barely moved, but I feel it so much more. Deep breath in, circle through your wrists while you're there, just so you don't get bored. And then exhale, thread the needle. Send your right hand underneath your left armpit. Rest your right shoulder and your right temple to the mat. You can keep your left hand planted, or you can crawl your hand forward, or you can take a half bind. It's up to you, whatever feels like it's going to be best. And then keep grounding down through the knees and the tops of the feet. Still feel present. Feel your outer shoulder connect to the mat. And then use that left oblique to gently twist your left shoulder back in space. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then gently plant your left palm back underneath your shoulder. Inhale, reach your right arm high. Again, try to keep the hip pulled back behind you, the hips level, the sacrum level. And then circle through your shoulder one direction. And back the other way. And then exhale, plant your right palm down. Inhale, reach your left arm high. And again, try to level off your sacrum. Don't let the hip pull out of alignment. Circle through your wrists as you let that oblique pull your left shoulder back in space. And then slowly bring it into the thread the needle. Left arm underneath, left shoulder to the mat. Take whatever variation with your right hand that you did with your left on the other side. Keep your hips level. Press down on the tops of your feet, your knees. And then use that right oblique to twist your right shoulder back in space. So wring something out. What from your past are you cleansing from your body here? And deep breath in. And deep breath out. Then gently plant your right palm down. Inhale, reach your left arm high once more. Keep the sacrum level. Circle through your shoulder one direction. Back the other way. Then exhale, plant your left palm down. And then from here, tuck your toes under, send your hips high, downward facing dog. As you find the down dog, again, we're going to really be mindful of building from the ground up. So press towards the pads of your fingers. A lot of times we try to dump the weight into the wrists and get a little pressure in that area. So press towards the pads of your fingers to take it out of the back of the heel of your hand. Spin your triceps away from your face so you feel broadening in your upper back. Engage your low belly, lift your tailbone high, and then feel the connection of your ball mounts to the mat behind you, and mount your heels close to the earth as well. Maybe you're flexible enough that the heels touch down. Maybe they're hovering, but imagine that there's little strings pulling them down so you feel like you're anchored to the earth. Then from here, you're going to shorten your stance slightly. So walk your feet just a couple inches closer toward your hands. This might assist you in giving that heel to earth connection. If not, that's okay. And then start to shift your weight over into your right hand. Then lighten up your left hand and reach that left hand over to the outer edge of your right ankle. So you're twisting under your down dog. Still keep your tailbone nice and high. Keep your shoulder plugged on your back so that you're gazing underneath that right arm. And then you can use that hand to ankle connection to twist yourself a little deeper. Deep breath in. Wring something out. Deep breath out. And then gently plant your left palm back where it was. Ground down through your fingertips. Lift up your right hand. And when you're ready, reach over towards the outer edge of your left leg. Again, keep your tailbone lifted. Keep your shoulder relaxed. With your inhale, imagine you're creating more space for change along your spine. With your exhale, use a little bit more of that arm strength to twist yourself underneath your arm. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then gently plant your right palm back where it was. Look forward toward your hands and slowly start to walk your feet behind your wrists. Again, make it slow, make it mindful. Feel the connection to the earth as you walk forward. And then once you find that feet underneath your hips, let everything hang heavy into a ragdoll. So soften the bend of your knees. Let your neck relax. Maybe you take a moment here to grab for opposite elbows and just let everything hang. Maybe you take a chest expansion grip. Wherever you are, just take the first couple breaths to let something shake off, let something go. And then we're going to move into a twist. So if you have blocks or books and you want a little assist to bring something underneath the front of you in the mat, I'm actually without blocks, unfortunately, as a yoga instructor. That's very sad. But you're going to maybe teepee your fingers up if you don't have anything to support yourself. And you're going to place your left fingertips down to the mat or to your block or books. And then you're going to start to find a little twist here, but try to keep your sacrum level. So soften the bend to your left knee. No, I lied. Soften the bend to your left knee. Yes, your left knee, straighten out your right, and then gently reach your right arm high. And then we're going to, again, think of that glass of water on the small of your back. So try to keep your hips level. While you're here, draw your shoulders out of your ears. And if you want a little more from the twist, you can take a half bind and reach that right hand around the small of your back and grab for your left hip to keep lifting it up in space. Wherever you are, again, the hands can be up higher. You can find your support however high you want it. But with your inhale, find more length. Again, we're thinking of creating space along the spine for that change, because when you're pulling something new in, you want to make space for it. And with your exhale, you're going to let yourself twist a little deeper around your spine, rotate that right shoulder back, wring something old out that you don't need. I also like to think of the metaphor of cleaning out a closet. If you've got too much stuff in your closet, you can't bring the new stuff in until you let something old go. So wring something out. Then gently release your bind or release your right hand back down to the earth. This time, soften the bend to your right knee, straighten out your left. Send your right fingertips or your hand to the mat, your block, your books, whatever you've got, and then reach your left arm high. Again, thinking of your sacrum still being level to the earth. Relax your shoulders down. Maybe you stay reaching up. Maybe take the half bind and grab for that right hip and pull it up in space. With your inhale, find more length. With your exhale, twist a little deeper. Think of wringing out the old. Deep breath in. Find those little spaces in your closet that you can add something new. And deep breath out. Donate whatever you don't need to charity. Let it go. And then gently release that bind, release that twist. Shake it off if you need to. And then slowly bend your knees and start to round your spine all the way up to stand. So again, As you come upright, we're going to find the foundation. So press down into the soles of your feet. Actually, I want to hover your toes if you can, and think of really pressing, nailing the ball mount behind your big toe into the mat. So as if someone just took, not the most comfortable sensation, but imagine that someone took an invisible nail gun to the space just behind your big toe, and it's now rooted into the earth. Once you feel that sensation of that area rooting down, you can relax your toes gently back down, but try not to grip them. Then imagine that someone just taped the outer edges of your heels down to the mat and feel them press into the earth as well. This should activate some different muscles in your legs. That's great. Those are what you want to feel supported and grounded. And then we're going to find a little lift from there. So engage your quads to lift your knees. Engage your low belly to lift up on your hips and draw your tailbone down. Squeeze your lower ribs together so your heart shifts over your hips. And then reach for the sky, or if a goalpost the arms feels better, feel free. Once you are here, maintain that connection. So it's like everything beneath your heart is trying to press you down. Everything above your heart is trying to lift you up. So staying grounded in the moment, but also reaching for something better. Once you've got all that, keep your core contained, and then open your heart up to something new. Draw your shoulder blades down your back, open across your heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back and press your hips forward. Still stay grounded in your feet. Then inhale, come back upright. We're going to take a little more ringing out. So as you exhale, send your right arm back, your left arm forward, and bring the arms out to a T parallel to the earth. Once you're here, know that that right hip likes to try and twist with you. We don't want that. So pull your right hip forward. So if you have headlights on your hips, they'd be shining towards the front of your mat or the front of the space that you were facing. And as you reach apart, keep those hips still facing forward. Engage your low belly so you tuck your tailbone underneath you. Reach your arms apart with energy. Inhale, grow a little taller, create that more space for change. Exhale, twist a little deeper, wring something out that you don't want. Try to relax your shoulders. Relaxing the shoulders, training our body to be comfortable with transitions. Inhale, come back to mountain pose. Exhale, open arm twist, left arm back, right arm forward. Again, try to keep the hips still shining forward. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. With your inhale, grow a little taller. With your exhale, twist a little deeper, wring something out, reach the arms apart. Inhale, back to mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, bow down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. Maybe that means hands to your thighs, hands to your shins. But we're going to really focus on where the weight is going in your feet because we want to, again, stay connected to the present moment. So when you find this halfway lift, I want you to think of shifting the weight forward towards that nail behind your big toe so that your hips come a little more over your ankles. Keep the legs as straight as feels good, and this will deepen the stretch in your hamstrings, but it'll also keep you grounded because you remembered where you're shifting your weight in your feet. Deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your palms, step back into high plank. Know that you can always modify this and come down to the earth with your knees if you would like, but we're going to take it into a hinge forward so that your elbows stack over your wrists. Lower down halfway with your elbows tucked in. Pause here. Press into the pads of your fingertips more than your wrist. Then we're going to take it to up dog. So just the tops of your feet and your hands are connected to the mat. So bring the tops of the feet down, lift your thighs and knees, press into the pads of your fingertips as you reach your heart forward. Keep the quads active so your knees are hovering off the mat. Reach your heart towards your future. Maybe feel like a string just tugged your heart a little further forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Pull your hips up and back. Now we're going to take that linking breath to movement. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, slowly walk it forward. Again, remaining grounded as you bring yourself to the top of the mat. If you like hop forwards, we'll get to those later. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Rise up, reach for the sky. Find that grounding under your feet. Exhale, back bend. Go post your arms, open your heart. Inhale, back to mountain pose. Exhale, open arm twist to the right, right arm back, left arm forward, hips shine forward. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, open arm twist to the left, left arm back, wring something out. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, feel the weight shift forward towards the ball mounts of your feet. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your palms, step it back, either high plank or knees to the mat, but feel grounded into the pads of your fingers as you shift forward and lower down. Tops of your feet to the mat, hands and feet are the only thing touching down as you inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take that one more time. If you do like transitioning by hopping forward or making a big step, that's fine. Just make sure you remember what's connected to the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Feel the feet connect to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Grow tall, reach up. Exhale, back bend, open heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, open arm twist. Right arm back, left forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, open arm twist, left arm back. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Bow down. Let something go. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Weight towards the ball mounts of your feet. Feel the grounding. Exhale, chaturanga. You know that you can always have the option to skip the chaturanga entirely and just meet back in down dog. But if you want it, inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving on. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, travel forward, whether you hop, step, float, or travel just 1 or 2 steps at a time, just make sure you're grounded. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, sink low, reach high. As you sink into your chair, shift the weight into your heels. Hover your toes. Maybe they wave at the front of your mat. Wave at your future with your toes because it's in front of you, but stay grounded in the present with your heels. Engage your low belly, tuck your tailbone underneath you. From here, bring your hands to heart center. As you inhale, find some length in your spine. Stay low in your chair, as low as you can go. Exhale, prayer twist towards your right. So hook your left elbow outside your right thigh. If you can't do this, you can do open arms or you can do standing open arms. But wherever you twist, just try to keep the knees pointing forward and level to one another. With your inhale, find more length through your spine. With your exhale, stay seated low as you twist a little deeper. You can press into your palms and use that to twist you deeper. Then inhale, come back through your chair. Exhale, twist to the other side. Maybe it's open arms, maybe it's hooking your elbow, but find what works for you. Keep your knees still level. Don't let that front knee pull forward of the other one. With your inhale, find more length through your spine. Create space for that change. Clean out the closet. With your exhale, wring something out that you no longer need. Then inhale, back to chair. Maybe sink a little lower. Strong legs. Feel grounded in your heels. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Weight into the ball mounts. Exhale, chaturanga, only if you want it. I'm going to hold high plank. So if you're flowing through, stay grounded underneath your hands and feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, kick your right leg high. Right away, bend your knee, open up your hip. Take a little movement here. Maybe it's a bit and straighten. Maybe you draw some circles. Just start to loosen up that hip. Now, the reason we're going to talk to the hip here is that when we find a chance to be vulnerable for change, we like to try and hold on to our control. And the hips do not open up when we're trying to control things. So relax your jaw here. That's a signal to your body that you don't need to control, that you can surrender. And then find a fluid movement with that hip. Signal to the body that it's okay to be a little more flexible in the future that you have in front of you. Then inhale, three-legged down dog. Drop your right hip down, straighten out your leg. Exhale, low lunge. Sweep your foot through. Stack your front knee over your ankle. Once you're here, inhale, warrior two. I'm going to flip myself around so I'm still facing towards camera, but spin your back foot down so it grounds the mat. Open up. Now, warrior postures, super grounding if you're doing them right. There's a lot of times in the yoga practice that you find yourself just kind of hanging out in a posture like, yeah, I'm in warrior. But we want to really feel the muscles turn on with the amount you're pressing down. So just like in our mountain pose where we were trying to really feel everything beneath the heart pressing down into the earth, we want that same effect here. So find the shape with your knee over your ankle, your back leg straight, and your back toes pointing towards the side of your mat. As you find that, start by pressing to the knife edge of your back foot. So we like to dump towards that arch. Try to press a little more towards that outer pinky toe side. Then start to feel the outer edge of that leg activate and activate your quad to lift up on your knee. You should even start to feel this glute start to turn on and scream at you. Then as you sink your front knee over your ankle, press the knife edge of that foot, but then nail down into that ball mount behind your big toe again. Once you've got that sensation, engage your low belly, lift your hips up. This feels like it's a lift up, but it's actually a grounding down because your tailbone's drawing towards the mat. Activate your outer front thigh and pull the knee open. All of the muscles are working to press you down. You should be sweating if you're doing this right. Once everything beneath your heart is pressing into the mat, keep all of that in place, and then exhale, extended side angle. Shift your body forward over your thigh. Now, we can reach towards heaven and earth here, or if you have want the option for it, you can reach towards your future, like you're going to grab it and pull it towards you. But find that reach, whatever feels good to you. Soften your knee over your ankle if it's not still there, and then keep pressing into that back leg like crazy. Then inhale, reverse warrior. Still maintain all of that strength in your body. I'm sweating like crazy. I hope you are too. And then reach your right arm up and back. As you find this, your hip is still level to the mat. So think of a belt being on you and finding it parallel to the earth. Keep your outer right thigh active. Pull your knee open. So much activation in the thighs and glutes. Deep breath in. Listen, we're going to do a fun transition. We're going to take it to the back of the mat with the Skandasana. So what I like to think of is starting like you're going to go forward and then faking yourself out and crawling yourself towards the back of the mat. Now, Skandasana has several variations. If you're not super deep into it, you're just going to flip your back foot more at a 45-degree angle, almost like you're coming into a warrior two. But instead of coming into a warrior two, you're going to flex that other foot up towards the sky. So we're thinking of this as almost like a half horse with an extended leg. So this is kind of the higher version of Skandasana. If you are a little more flexible, you can come closer to the mat and treat it almost like it is a half frog pose. Why can't I think of the name of that? And half extended leg. So this heel can either be lifted or grounded. So make sure the ball mount of your foot is grounded, everything else nice and lifted. Wherever you are, feel grounded underneath that extended heel. Feel grounded underneath the ball mount of your foot. Open your heart up. So if you're hunching down, lift your heart towards your future, towards your thumbs. Deep breath in. Exhale, low lunge towards your back leg. So the one that you just bent. Switch yourself around and find a position that you can frame your front foot. From here, we're going to take it into chaturanga. So sweep that foot back. Maybe flow through. Maybe go back to down dog. It's up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, why did we do that funky transition? So that we're facing the opposite direction than where we started. Because when we go through a retrograde, we're wanting to look to the past to inform our future. So now we're looking to the back of the mat. I switched positions, so I'm looking the same direction that I started this. But you are looking to the back of your mat. Think of this as an opportunity to reflect upon the transitions that you're going through, the transitions you've been through in other parts of your life, and what you're letting go of and how you survived other transitions like this. So in the past, when you've let something go that might have felt uncomfortable, notice how you I'm going to say always. I'm going to do a definite statement and say you always came out the other side and found yourself someplace better, even if it was hard along the way. So with that in mind, we're going to take it around the world again and find ourselves to the front of the mat again to look towards the future, because that's how these retrogrades spin us around. So we're going to do the same leg, this time linking breath to movement. So inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, warrior two. Find that grounding underneath your legs as you open up. Exhale, extended side angle. Maybe reach towards your future, actually reach towards your past and grab a lesson to bring it back. Then inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, Skandasana towards the front of your mat or where you started. So bend that knee that's now straight. Straighten out the leg that was bent. Bring yourself towards the back of the mat or towards the opposite direction. Find that low lunge and then flow through your chaturanga, only if you want it. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So we're going to take that same concept and take it to the other side. So inhale, kick your left leg high. Right away, bend your knee, open up your hip. Whatever felt good, take it here. Maybe you circled around. The goal is just to let go of that sense of needing to control something. I'm flipping myself around in preparation for facing towards the camera. But find your way to let go of the control. Find a state of surrender, a state of fluid energy. The more that you can go through a transition with a feeling of wherever I land is going to be fine. I don't need to control it. I just need to take the ride. It's going to make it easier. So inhale, kick your left leg high, straighten out your leg. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Once that knee is over your ankle, inhale, warrior two. Now again, we're going to find that super sweaty grounding energy in the legs. So press down to the knife edge of your foot, feel the outer thigh engage, lift up on your quad, feel your glute turn on. Straight as you can, press down. Then front knee over your ankle, pull it open with your outer thigh, nail down into that space behind your big toe. Engage your low belly, lengthen your tailbone down for that extra bit of grounding. Reach your arms apart. Then keep all of that energy in your legs. Exhale, extended side angle. Shift your body forward. Again, maybe you stay present and reach towards heaven and earth. Maybe you reach towards the future. It's totally up to you, but keep pressing into the back foot. Imagine you're trying to stamp onto that back foot enough to be able to stand up on it. Then inhale, reverse warrior. Maintain your front knee bend as you reach your left arm up and back. Tuck your tailbone. Keep pressing into the bell mount of your front foot as you pull your knee open. Deep breath in. Remember that transition, we're going to take it to our past. So exhale, Skandasana. Again, maybe as you bend your back knee and straighten out the front, you're coming up here. Maybe you're coming down here. Find what your body needs. Feel the earth underneath that extended heel. Feel the earth underneath your ball mount. And then lift your heart up towards your future. Keep your outer thigh active to pull that bent knee back. Deep breath in. Exhale, low lunge towards your past to have a reflection on what's going on there. As you sway yourself towards your back leg and frame your front foot, chaturanga, sweep your foot back. Find your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so we took it around the world again. A little moment to reflect upon your past. Call to mind the last big transformation you took in life. Maybe you had a loved one pass. Maybe you had a joyous event. Maybe you got married. Maybe you bought a house. Whatever the transitional element is, think of how that felt slightly uncomfortable while you're going through it. But when you came out the other side, you were better for it. You knew more. You're more secure in yourself. Bring that energy into our transition back towards the future. So inhale, kick your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, warrior two, open up. Find that grounding, still in the present moment, even though we're looking towards the past and future. Exhale, extended side angle. Maybe reach the past and grab a lesson. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Pull it to the present. Exhale, Skandasana, bend the leg that's straight, straighten out the leg that was bent. Take it towards the front part of your mat again. Then come back towards the future. Gaze towards the future as you frame your front foot. Chaturanga if you want it. Down dog if you need it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're facing towards the future, but we want to still be present in the fact that we are here on the mat. Deep breath in. Feel yourself root down through your fingers, your feet. Deep breath out. We're going to take a back and forth movement for this next round. So we're not going to take it in a full circle, but we're still going to take that past reflection. I'll show you what I mean. So inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, warrior two, open up, again, grounded through the legs. Exhale, extended side angle, reach towards the future, grab a goal, pull it back towards you. Inhale, reverse warrior, feel it in the present moment. Exhale, Skandasana, let's review the past because it's a retrograde. Bend the back knee, straighten out the front. Inhale, low lunge towards your past to find that reflection. Exhale, chaturanga, only if you want it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to do the different legs. So we're still going to bounce back towards the front edge of the mat, but we're just going to take it to the same side. So inhale, kick your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, warrior two, facing the same way you were for that last round. Exhale, extended side angle. Maybe you reach and grab your past and pull it into the present for the lesson, and then resolve that lesson. Give yourself a little moment to reflect upon it as you reverse warrior. Exhale, Skandasana towards the front of your mat, though moving towards the future again. Inhale, low lunge towards the front of your mat. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it, flow through. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then inhale, look forward. Come on down to your mat. Take a little moment to breathe. Close your eyes, maybe hands to the thighs, but just take a moment to, again, be present. After a lot of movement, we tend to check out of the present moment, disassociate from our body. So bring yourself back in. Feel the surface of the mat, the earth beneath you. Shake out anything that you don't want to carry into the future. Reflect upon what it was that you were pulling in to the present, both from your past and from your future goals. And then gently blink your eyes open. Swing your legs out from underneath you. Again, as I mentioned, hip openers are really an indicator of how resistant we are to change, to releasing control. So we're going to do a little bit of hip opening and a little bit of twisting here. So you're going to start with a either double pigeon or figure four. So it depends on where your practice is at. But we're going to do the left leg on bottom, right leg on top first. So take your left shin parallel to the front edge of your mat if you're coming into double pigeon. Think of it as bringing a parallel shin right out in front of you. And then flex your ankle and then take your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Now, if this is kind of a hindrance to have both knees bent, you can extend the bottom leg out in front of you into a figure four shape, and it's easier to let that leg drop. If you need a couple pillows or blocks to support the leg, you can feel free to take that. Same goes if you have both knees bent, you can take a couple pillows or block to support this if you want. If the leg can just rest down comfortably, allow it to do so. Keep both ankles flexed so that you're protecting your knee joints. We want those as we're moving forward into the future. But then take a few moments here to just close your eyes and feel your presence of your body on the mat by connecting to the sensation under your sit bones. There's a tendency in this posture to let that right hip pull up and forward. So if you feel that happening in your body as you check in with the levelness of your sit bone sensation, try to glue your right hip back and down so that you feel like you're equally rooted on both sides. So nails on both butt cheeks are cemented into the earth. Once you feel like you're equally grounded there, you have several options. Option one, you can just stay here, treat this like a little meditation. You can even give yourself a little top foot massage if you want a little extra self-love. Option two, point A and B, is to fold forward. So 2.A would be to fold forward with a flat back, almost like you're just grabbing your hips and spilling your pelvic bowl forward. So this is going to be the more active version, but it's also going to be a deeper stretch in that top hip. Option 2.B would be to place something out in front of you, or maybe rest your forearms down if that feels comfortable. If you're that deep in the pose, maybe you rest your palms down and you just press back through the hips. Option 3, I believe is the number that I was on, is to take this into a twist. So if you feel pretty comfortable here and you want to try twisting, you're going to take your right elbow and aim it towards the arch of that right foot. If you can hook it there, you'll then take the hands in prayer like you did for your prayer twist and start to twist yourself towards that direction. Wherever you are, start to stay equally grounded under the sit bones. So be mindful of that present moment sensation of both glutes touching down equally. If you are twisting with your inhales, think of lengthening and drawing your shoulders out of your ears. Keep that right glute glued down. With your exhale, press into your palms. Maybe twist yourself a little deeper. Wring out the old. Let go of the need to control where it's going. Let go of the past. How are you going to transform if you're still holding on to everything in your closet? Let something melt away. And then gently inhale, bring it back upright, whether you were twisting or you were folding. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So whether you're in double pigeon or figure four, you're going to switch out the leg that's on top. So for you guys, that would be left leg on top. Again, ankles nice and flexed because we always want to protect the knee joints. Maybe it's ankle on top of knee, knee on top of ankle. In the double pigeon, maybe you have the bottom leg extended. Wherever you are, we'll start again with that present moment grounding. So close your eyes. Root down equally through both glutes. So pull that left glute back and down if it needs to. Nails on both butt cheeks down into the mat. As you find that equal grounding, choose your adventure next. Maybe you stay upright, close your eyes, take the meditation, massage your foot. Maybe you grab onto your hips and start to spill your pelvic bowl forward and find a flat back fold for the deeper stretch. Maybe you just let the arms rest in front of you and round through the spine. Maybe you take it to the twist and place your left elbow to the arch of your foot, right palm on top of that left palm, and twist around, still keeping that left glute grounded. If you're twisting with your inhale, find more length, shoulders out of your ears. With your exhale, press into your palms, twist a little deeper. Try not to let that left hip drip forward. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then gently bring it around to the front. Whew. As you find this position around to the front, we're going to take it to a straddle pose. So send both legs out long. Doesn't have to be a super wide straddle. Take the distance that feels good for you. Flex your feet, press down in the backs of your legs. So that's where we're finding the grounding now. We're trying to get the backs of the legs to really feel like they're connected to the earth. Once you've got that sensation, as you inhale, lift up through your heart, try to find a flat back. And as you exhale, with yourself grounded in the present moment underneath your legs, you're going to start to slowly walk and transition towards your future. So send the hands out in front of you only as far as feels good. Whenever you feel like you need more space, you bring yourself back to the present moment and press the backs of your legs down. Remember that you're here in this moment, physical being on this planet. And by being present, that gives you the space to move forward. Maybe you're coming to your palms, maybe you're coming to your elbows. If you're super deep into it, maybe you're coming down to your chest. But the only way you're going to get there is by being super present and grounded underneath the backs of your legs. So with your inhale, reach your heart towards your future. With your exhale, feel the grounding underneath your legs. Be present here on the mat, and that's going to give you the space to move a little further. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Ground down to the backs of your legs. As you exhale, maybe fold a little deeper. Another way to be present is to recognize where you've met your limit and just allow yourself to stay there and breathe. Soften your jaw if it tensed up. Again, letting go of that need to control the transition. With your inhale, find a reach of your heart towards your future. What are you transitioning towards? With your exhale, still remain present during that transition. Fold. And then inhale, slowly rise up. As you rise up, we're going to take it into a half fish. So let me see if I can do this backwards. You're going to send your left knee to point out in front of you and your right foot to hook over top of that left thigh. Now, if this isn't accessible, sometimes extending that bottom leg helps define this, but you're wanting the leg crossed over so that the sole of your foot is planted to the outer edge of that thigh. Once you've got that in place, think of rooting down through both sit bones, because again, we want them just like in the half pigeon to be equally grounded in the present moment. And then inhale, reach tall, find some space along your spine for that change. Exhale, twist, bring your right palm behind you, left elbow outside your right thigh. Now from here, you want to think of your core twisting you and your arms lengthening you. So sometimes we like to use the arms to crank ourselves in the twist. That's not what we're doing here. First things first, remember that you're present on the mat. Glue down equally through both glutes and keep both hips pointing forward. Don't let that left hip try to spin forward as you twist. Once all of that is grounded, allow your arms to press down into the earth and to your leg to grow you taller on your inhale. And now that you've created space for change for your future, then you can rotate through your spine and use your oblique to twist you deeper. So your core is twisting you, your arms are growing you taller. So with your inhale, the arms press down. With your exhale, your core rotates. Keep that left glute glued back and down. Don't let it pull forward. You're still present here underneath your sit bones. With that presence, your inhale, letting yourself create space for the change, grow tall. Exhale, wringing out what you don't need. Then inhale, bring it around to the other side. We're going to take it to a counter twist. So you're just going to place that right hand out inside your right foot, left palm behind you. Nice open heart as you gaze the opposite direction. And then we're going to take it to the other side. Actually, no, I lied. We're going to take it into another hip opener. So cow face pose. Stack your knees on top of one another. So take that little hook of your ankle, stack the knees. If this isn't accessible in your practice, option 2 is to take that double pigeon that we just did or that figure 4 that we just did. But if you do have the cow face pose in your practice, I've got a nice little twist that I'm going to be able to add on here for you. So as you find your cow face pose, again, we want to stay equally grounded underneath both sit bones. So feel yourself root down through both glutes. And then you're going to start to fold yourself forward a little bit. Maybe you stay here. That might be enough for you, but stay equally grounded underneath both sides of your glutes. And then if you want more and you feel pretty comfortable folding forward, you have the option to take your right hand underneath your left arm and try to reach over towards your right big toe. Actually, another option would be to place a block underneath you or elbow to the mat. But if you want to reach for the toe for the deeper variation, reach that direction. And then reach your left arm high, open across your collarbone. Stay grounded through both glutes. And if you want a little more, take the half bind. Reach that arm around the small of your back towards your hip and twist. Again, another option would be to elbow to the mat and either reach up and twist or reach around to grab that hip. If you're twisting with your inhale, grow taller. With your exhale, twist deeper. And then inhale, bring it around to the front. And we're going to take it twisting to the other side first. So starting with that half fish foundation, send your right knee to point out in front of you. Left ankle crossed over top your thigh. Or again, option 2 would be to extend that bottom leg long. Once you find that ankle crossed over your thigh, your knee pointing somewhat up, you're going to root down through both sit bones equally. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, hook your elbow outside your thigh. Your left palm goes behind you. Think of rooting down through both sit bones so that they're both staying equally grounded next to one another rather than letting that left hip twist back. With your inhale, press down into your arms, grow a little taller. With your exhale, twist a little deeper. Deep breath in, grow a little taller, create that space. Use your core to twist you deeper as you exhale. Equally grounded under both glutes. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Then gently bring it around to the other side. Find that little counter reset. Left palm to the inside of your foot. Right palm behind you. Open collarbone to the opposite direction. And then gently bring it around to the front. Again, we're going to take it to cow face pose. For those that have it in the practice. If you want a double pigeon or figure 4 like we did before, take that. But if you are stacking your knees, equally ground beneath both glutes. And then start to see what it feels like to fold forward. Maybe that's enough. It's a great glute stretch. It's a great hip stretch. If you're ready for the twist, option 1 for the twist is to plant your elbow down in front of you. Maybe you put some books or a block underneath it to raise it up if you need it. Option 2 would be to take those left piece fingers and reach them over towards your right big toe. If you're choosing to twist, reach your right arm high, open across your collarbone, glue your shoulders down, glue your glutes back in line with one another. If you want that half bind, reach around towards your opposite hip crease behind you. With your inhales, find more length. With your exhales, let yourself rotate for the twist. And then gently bring it around to the front. As you come around to the front, send the legs out long in front of you. Shake it off. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, seated forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Reach for your toes, your ankles, your calves, whatever's accessible. With your inhale, reach your heart towards your future. Then just like in our straddle pose, we find the grounding underneath the backs of the legs. So press the backs of the legs down to feel your presence here. Flex your toes back. Reach your heart towards your future with your inhale. By finding your presence and grounding your legs down, then you can create the space to move forward towards that goal. Inhale, reach your heart towards your future. Press into the foundation of the present moment as you press the backs of the legs down and then fold a little deeper. And then inhale, slowly rise up. And we're going to lie down onto the mat. So lower yourself down to the earth. Take a little moment. Shake it off. Let yourself breathe. From here, we're going to take a little bridge pose just for a little bit of a lift of the hips, a little bit of heart opening. So stack your heels underneath your knees and feet hips width distance. Plant your palms next to your sides. As you inhale, press into your heels, lift your hips up, walk your shoulder blades underneath you for a little support. Always, always finding that connection in the present moment. Feel your palms press down in the mat. Feel the backs of the shoulders press down, the back of your head press down. Try to keep that grounding underneath your inner ball mount, nail down behind your big toe, and your outer heels tape down as well. Press into those heels, lift your hips a little higher, deep breath in. Exhale, slowly return your spine to the earth. From here, walk your feet out to the outer edges of your mat or slightly wider than hips width distance. We're going to take some windshield wipers with the legs. So let the knees fall over to the right. Flex through your ankles as you move, just that your knees feel protected. And bring them back through center. Let your knees fall over towards the left. Inhale, come back through center. Let them fall over towards the right. And once there, we're going to take a little hip flexor stretch. So flex your right ankle. Take the outer edge of your right ankle to the outer edge of your left thigh. And then as you hook to the outer edge of your thigh, let both legs grow super heavy towards the mat. Think of lengthening your left knee towards the space that's in front of you, away from your head. Soften your shoulders down. Think of creating more space up the left side of your body with your inhales. Think of surrendering to the present as you relax. Let gravity pull you deeper towards the earth as you exhale. The transformation happens here. Yes, it's about transforming to what you're doing in the future, but you can't get there if you're not present here in this moment with what's happening in that transitional phase. Then gently unhook that right ankle, place it back to the outer edge of your mat or slightly wider than hips width distance. Let your knees fall over towards the left. Flex your left ankle, hook the outer edge of the left ankle to the outer edge of your right thigh, and let everything grow heavy towards the earth. Lengthen your right knee away from your head. Relax your shoulders down. Soften your jaw. Again, we're working with the hips here. So the more we can let go of a need to control, the more that we can find a state of surrender during the transitions and the transformation, the more it can work out even more beautifully than we could have ever planned. Trust that the universe is a better screenwriter in this plot twist than you ever could be, and just surrender. Then gently unhook that left ankle, place your foot back to the mat. Bring the knees back through center and gently hug your knees towards your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. If you crave a little happy baby, you can stamp your feet towards the ceiling. If you want to just keep the knees towards the chest, feel free to find that. Then inhale, hug your knees back into your chest if you took happy baby. We're going to take it into some supine twists. So hug your right knee in, send your left leg long. Scoot your left hip underneath your right and let that right leg fall over to the left side of your body. You can tee out your arms, you can goalpost them, or if you want, you can place that left hand to the outer strip of your right thigh for a little counterweight. Just keep your right shoulder glued down. If you want to gaze off to the right to complete the twist of your neck, do so. Same concept as all our other twisting. With your inhales, you're creating that space in your closet for something new. So think of lengthening your right hip away from your right shoulder. Think of breathing space between each vertebrae to create the room to move into the twist. And with your exhale, we're going to find that hip opening surrender that we had and just let gravity take over. So anything you're trying to force yourself into the twist, let it go. Just try to keep that right shoulder grounded. And other than that, let everything else just melt into where gravity is pulling it. And then inhale, draw your legs back through center. Switch out the side. So hug your left knee in, send your right leg long. Scoot your right hip underneath your left as you stack the hips at center and glue your left shoulder down before you go any further. And then let that left leg fall over to the right. Soften that left shoulder down. With your inhales, create that space that you need to add something new to your closet. Lengthen the left hip away from your shoulder, space along your spine. With your exhales, surrender. If we're using the closet metaphor, this is the point where you know that you've ordered something really good off of Amazon. You've cleaned up that space in your closet and you're just waiting for the package to arrive. There's no work to be done here. You just have to stay present, stay in your home, and wait for that package to hit your door. Deep breath in. Everything you want is already done. Ring out anything you don't need to make room for it to arrive. Deep breath out. Then gently bring your legs back through center. One last hug to seal your practice. Hug your knees to your chest and your forehead to your knees. Deep breath in. Exhale, surrender into Shavasana. Send your legs long, arms to your sides, shoulder blades underneath you. Close your eyes. We're going to use the last couple minutes to really seal in that sense of transformation. If you want to go super deep on what's happening for you during this Pluto retrograde, which is lasting for several months, you can check your chart, your astrology chart, and see what planet or what area of your chart or what house your chart Aquarius is in. That's where this Pluto transformation is starting. It's going to eventually move back into Capricorn in the fall. But for right now, what you're transforming is that area of your life. And if you don't know, just consider what it is that you feel like you're ready to transition. Usually when we're ready for transformation, it's been whispering to us for months ahead of time. So whatever it is in your life that you've been feeling called to do or learn something new, or to let go of something old, let that gently come to mind. And again, use any of the metaphors that we have. Maybe you're cleaning out a closet. Maybe you're wringing out old energy, wringing out the dirty water from the washcloth or the sponge. But whatever resonates most for you. Your inhales will call towards you the future that you want, transformation that you have pictured in your mind. Your exhales will assist in that wringing out of what you don't need. Breathe something out, let it go. And if you do happen to have a vision of the future that you're wanting to call in, the person that you're wanting to become, call to mind the image of that version of you. It's been within you all of your life, but now it's ready to come forward. And even if you don't feel quite ready for that version of yourself, look at it as if you're watching a movie. And if this version of you is a character in a movie, what does that character do with their day-to-day life? The type of person that this character is? When do they wake up in the morning? What do they do with their morning time? What do they eat for breakfast? How do they prepare themselves both physically and emotionally and mentally for their day? How do they go about the world? How do they treat those around them? How do they spend their time and their money to be in best alignment with this person that they are? How do they feel in their body? How do they wind down at the end of the day to best set themselves up for a successful next morning? How do they feel about their life when they lay down in bed at night? How does the best version of you feel about the person you are becoming? And recognize that most of the things that you've just pictured are things that you could start tomorrow to embody this transformed version of yourself. All it takes is being fully present from moment to moment to call that version of you into this moment right here. That is the importance of calling in transformation to the here and now, so that it doesn't just eternally live in the future in a vision in your mind. So with that in mind, feel your body start to absorb all that energy that you just pictured. Almost as if that version of you is a little hologram that's being soaked up into your cells, settling into your physical being here in this moment. You're welcome to linger and just let the video run out. But if you want to come back into the physical world a little more, if you're ready and feel like you're ready to embody that version of yourself, find some gentle movement, your fingers, your toes. Let your head rock gently so that you feel the back of your head massage along the mat to remind you that you're here in physical form. Find a little morning stretch to come back into this new version of life. Roll to one side or the other into fetal pose and consider this a magical rebirth into this new version of yourself. When you're ready, press yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. Place your hands over your heart. Remind yourself that you're a physical being here in this moment, but you are also all versions of yourself that have ever existed, that ever will exist, contained within this physical vessel. You can call in any version that you can imagine. So whatever one you prefer, breathe it in on your inhale. And whatever version of your past that doesn't serve those sensations, breathe it out, ring it out, let it go, make room for something new. When you're ready, gently blink your eyes open. Come back into the room. Let your hands rest. I hope that you feel that you have a little hint of the transformation that lies ahead for you. You can come back to this practice throughout the next several months as Pluto remains retrograde to remind yourself that you create your present, your transformation, by pulling what you want from the future into the present and letting go of the parts of your past that are no longer serving you.